Hello everyone. In this lesson we are going to calculate slope for a set of coordinates or given points on the coordinate plane by dividing the difference of the y and x coordinates. But first, let's go on to the launch, and we have inputs for the x right here. So every time you see an x, this is called an input. These are called inputs. So we're going to put input on the top of x and output on the top of y. So you input the x value into the equation and substitute in for the x, and then you will get an output in the form of y. So this would be 2 times 0 plus 1, and that would be 1. Then we would have 2 times 1, you're substituting 1 in, plus 1, and that would be 2. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. We would substitute 2 in, plus 1, and that is 5. You substitute the 3 in, and that would be 7. And then finally, substitute 4 in, plus 1, and that would be 9. So coordinates, when you write coordinates, it's just in the form of x and y. So we're going to squeeze that in right here, x, comma, y. And we're going to put 0, comma, 1. That's x, comma, y. X and y. And then 1, comma, 3. 2, comma, 5. And 3, comma, 7. And finally 4, comma, 9. Now, just because we ended at 4 and we stopped at 4, we could go on with the inputs. Every input has its own output for this equation. So we're just going to go and label the bottom here of the x, this x-axis. We're going to label it, and we're going to put 0, 1, 2. And when you label, please do not put your numbers in the middle of the box. We are putting our numbers right below the lines. You can see how careful I am being to make sure that the numbers are right below the lines. And the same thing going up on the y-axis. We're going to count by ones at this point. And we should go all the way up to 15. So you could tell right now that you do have a graph, and a quadrant 1 graph, that you have just positive numbers. All right, this is only quadrant 1. So we're going to put these points on. 0, comma, 1 is right there. 0 on the x and 1 up. Then the next one is 1, 3. 1 to the right and 3 up. And then next one is 2, 5. Next one is 3, 7. Like that. And 4, 9. Hopefully you see the pattern that is developing. So we're just going to connect these points. Oops. We're going to connect these points just like this. And we're going to stop right there for now. So take a look at what you have. We're going to rise to and run to the right 1. Rise to and run to the right 1. And look, that would be the next point. Rise to, run 1. That would be the point after that. And rise to, run 1. So you could tell exactly what the line is going to do because there's a pattern, and that pattern stays the same. We're going to connect those points, and you notice that it makes a straight line. It makes a straight line because the pattern remains the same. Remember, always put an arrow at the end of that line. You don't need an arrow here, but you need an arrow here because it's going to go up like that forever. We'll get more into that and what that means. Which quadrant on the coordinate plane has no positive values? Has no positive values. So if we're taking a look at this, we're going to draw a small coordinate plane. Just like that. And this coordinate plane, I'm going to label, here's all the positive values. That's quadrant number 1. This is quadrant number 2. This is quadrant number 3. And this is quadrant number 4. Which one of these has all negative values, no positives? So 1 has all positives. 2 has negative positive. 3 has negative to the left and negative down. So quadrant 3 has negative, negative. And that's where this is right here. And I'm going to highlight it. That is your quadrant 3. All negatives going to the left and down. Which point is a solution to y equals 3x minus 6? Well, don't worry about this question and how you do it. You just substitute, right? Remember, this is your x. This is your input. So if you put one input in, that means they has to give you an output that is here. So I'm going to start with 2 because I don't like this negative 10. So I'm going to put this y equals, and 3 times 2 is 6 minus 6. So 6 minus 6 is 0. So that y equals 0. So that's the answer. So if you put 3 in, let's just say you put 3 in, y equals 3 times 3 minus 6. This is 9 minus 6. And y equals 3. And y is supposed to be 15. So this is out. So you see exactly what's going on. Y equals 3 times 4 is minus 6 is supposed to give you 8. So let's see if it gives you 8, which it probably won't because we already have our answer. 12 minus 6, y equals 6. No, that's wrong. All right, so you can cancel those out right there. And you don't have to try 1 because 2 is the answer. And that is it. So basically, what slope is the steepness of a line, the incline or decline of a line. So I put down the incline or decline of a line is the slope. It's the measure of the steepness of a line. And when you list what you know about slope, the lines graphed below, well, lines have different slopes according to how steep they are. Where have you heard the term slope used in real life? Well, you probably have heard of a ski slope or something like that. What did it mean? Well, ski slopes usually go downhill. You ski downhill, but you could also go uphill when you are, returning to where you did go down from. All right. So, but we'll work it through right here. This is a hamster. A hamster is going uphill. And the way you read a graph is from left to right, like you read a book. When you're reading a book, you go from left, L, to right. So everybody put L and R on the top of each graph. Then you could tell that from the left, this hamster is traveling up. So that means this has a positive, this line has a positive slope. So this one right here, we're going to put the same thing, L and R. And you know, if you're reading it from left to right, this is going downhill. So this is going up, and that's a positive slope. This one would be going down, and down is this way. Down is a negative slope. Right here, we're going to just put, again, we're going to put the left and right. You notice that this hamster is not going up or down. So that means it is just a flat surface. And when you call a flat surface, you say that the M, the slope, equals 0. Slope equals 0. And that's the slope of a horizontal line. Oops. Let me put this here. Okay. And you see what I put there. That is M. M is slope. So you'll get used to seeing the M and knowing that it means slope. Slope is 0 for a horizontal line. And the way I remember it, I just remember it all the time, is that it is a flat surface. So you're talking about a flat surface and you're not inclining or declining. So that's why it's a 0 slope. And then also the word horizontal has an O in it. And that O will remind me typically of 0. The number 0. So this one right here, we're going to put L and R. And this slope is called undefined. And has an undefined slope. This is a vertical line. It has an undefined slope because you can't measure the steepness of a line that goes vertical like this, right? So there's 4 types of slope. Positive goes up from left to right. Negative goes down from left to right. A horizontal slope has a 0 slope, 0 steepness. And then a vertical line has a no steepness at all. Just a vertical line has an undefined slope. So we'll get more into it and why that is undefined, but that is that. All right, so look at each line graphed below. Which one is steeper? Well, B is steeper. So we're just going to put B is steeper. So what type of slope does each line have? So we're just going to put L here and R here. So this is going up. So this has a positive slope. Put an L here and an R here. This goes up also. And it's a positive slope. So B is positive and A is positive. Going on to the next one. Again, you're going to put L and R on the top. Do that for every graph. This line goes down from left to right. So this has a negative slope. Put the L and the R here. This also goes down from left to right. Even though don't get confused about the arrows, just downhill from left to right, this has a negative slope. Which one is steeper with that negative? A. A is steeper. We are going to go on to the next page. There's two ways to find the slope of a line. We are going to concentrate on rise over run. When there are 2 points given on a graph, when there's a line given on a graph, you make the points if you have to. And once you make those points, you could count the vertical change over the horizontal change. And that's the change in the y's over the change in the x's. And that's called rise over run. Does it matter which point you start with? No, but I typically go from left to right. But let's get on to some questions. So does the line have a positive? Let's go ahead and put L and R. Does it have a positive or negative slope? We are going to put right away that this is going up. So this is a positive slope. Now, do you see the 2 points? The points have to be right in the corners, right? So when I'm saying in the corner, this is a nice point right here. Let me get my red. That point right there is a very good point because that is in the corner, and you see how it's like in a corner of a box. This is in the corner of a box as well. So if you were picking this point, you could not count the way you're going to count with whole numbers. This is in the middle of nowhere. So I'm going to erase that. You use the 2 points that they give you, and you draw a triangle. So we're going to go from this point all the way over to this point right here. Stop right there. And then we're going to go up to that point. You notice that we made a triangle. We made a triangle, and now we are going to count. And let me just change this to blue because it looks better. So now we're going to count actually what the run is and what the rise is. So let's go ahead and count. We're just going to go 1. That's 1, 2. We're counting lines. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that's 10, and you put 10 there. Since you went to the right, that's positive 10. Now I'm going to count up. So from here, you ended up there. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Since you went up, it's positive 7. So find the slope. You're going to use the formula M is slope, rise over run. That measures the incline or decline of a line. So the rise is 7. That's 7. You see how you have 7? That's up or down. Rise is 7. And the run is right or left is 10. So the slope is 7 over 10. And you leave it like that. Right? And that is how you figure out slope. Draw a line with a slope of 0 on the graph. So I'm just going to draw a line with a horizontal line, just like this. And I'm going to add arrows to it. Just remember, every time you draw a line, you have arrows on each side. So M equals 0. That is a horizontal line with a slope of 0. Right? And that is it. Don't worry about the fast finisher. All right. Does the line graph have a positive or negative slope? So let's put L and R. Since this goes from left to right, it goes down from left to right. This has a negative slope. So right off the bat, you should be able to tell if a slope is negative or positive. It goes downhill, negative. Goes uphill from left to right, then positive. Don't start over here and say, oh, it's going uphill. No, that's not it. It's going downhill from left to right, and that means it's a negative slope. So we do the same thing that we did before. Just remember, we are going to go and connect these little points that they give you. And you could see, you make your triangle. If it is not a triangle, if it doesn't stay on the grid itself, then you did it wrong. And just remember also, you have here a line. We're going to count now, but we made those connections as if you were walking on the grid. So you're not going off the grid. You can't draw a slanted line. It's either horizontal or vertical. All right, that's it. That's all you can draw. So we're going to go down now. We're going to start at this one from the left, and we are going to, let's see if we could do this. Count. So we went down 1. So since we went down 1, put a -1. You went down 1. Then you are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 to the right. 4 to the right is +4. So find the slope. Remember what the slope formula is. It is rise over run. This slope is negative because the line goes down from left to right. So the rise is -1. The run is 4, +4. And you leave it like that. That is -1 over 4. Right? Should it have a negative slope? Yes, it should. It goes down from left to right. It makes sense. All right. So we're going to go and draw an undefined line on the graph, and an undefined line. Let me move my face over here so I could cancel that out. And there's an undefined line. Remember, an undefined line is a vertical line. So the slope is undefined, all right? A vertical line. Vertical lines are undefined. Going to the next page, again, we're going to calculate the rise and the run. So we're just going to do this quickly. This is, well, as quick as possible. We're going to make our triangle. Remember, we're going to put L and we're going to put R. And this is going to be a positive slope. It makes sense because it goes up from left to right. It goes up. So that means 1, 2. That is 2. And I'm not drawing, you know this, I'm not drawing those loops now. I don't need them. Right? We just go count lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the rise is 4. The run is 2. The rise is always up or down. The run is always left or right. Just think about running in gym. That's exactly what you're talking about, run. So 4 over 2, that does divide into a whole number. So we could say it has a slope of 2. 2 over 1, sometimes they'll put, but just 2, all right, is good enough. All right, so here we go. We're going to do this second one. We have L and R. This goes down. This is a negative slope. That's because it goes down from left to right, down. So let's go ahead and connect those points. I'm going to go down and stop right there and then go over to the right. Since I went down, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down is -5. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the right is +4. So this is a negative slope. It's -5/4, and you leave it that way. We are going to put L and R for this one, and this looks from left to right that it goes uphill. If it goes uphill, this is going to be a positive slope. It goes up. We are connecting those 2 points, those perfect points, just like this. We're going to stop there, horizontal. And then we're going to go vertical all the way up to this point. Once you do that, you're ready to count your rise over run. I'm going to go right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to put the right that I went right 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that is 7/5. And you leave it that way. That's the slope of that line. So calculate the slope of each of the lines below. It's the same thing as we just did. So I'm going to go ahead and draw those 2 lines. And thinking about what it is, I know that I'm going to put L and R here. And this goes up, so this is a positive slope. It goes up. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 5. And then up 1, 2, 3. So it's rise over run. Do I have something on the bottom? I could put it here. M equals rise over run. M equals, the 3 is the rise, the run is the 5. And that's it. So we're going to get B. Again, we are putting L and R. And since this goes up from left to right, this is a positive slope again. We are going to connect these points just like this. Move this over just a little bit. All right, so we have a positive slope there. We know it's a positive slope, so this is 1, 2. That's positive. That's 2, and remember it's positive because we went to the right. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is positive because we're going up, right? So we're going to go down here and we're going to put M equals rise over run. And we're going to put M equals rise is 6/2. And we're going to put M equals 6 divided by 2 is 3. And that is it. And just to answer this question right here, what connection can you make between the slope and the steepness of a line? The steeper the line is, the further the slope is away from 0. You see how this is not as steep as B. B has a slope of 3 because it's steeper than A, which only has a slope of 3/5. So the further the slope is away from 0, the steeper the line is going to be, or it is. All right, so here we go. Calculate the slope of each line. Again, we are going to put L and R on the top. And this is going to be a negative slope. Negative because it goes down from left to right. So we're going to take that point right there, go down, and then we're going to go to the right and connect that point. Once we have that connected, then we could count from up here to from the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to put a negative. Try that again. -7, because we went down 7. Then we're going to the right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's positive, right? Going to the right. It says calculate the slope, so you know that you have to put m equals rise over run. M equals -7 over 4. That's the slope. And we're going to put L and R. This goes down from left to right as well, so it's a negative slope. It goes down. We are going to connect those 2 points just like that. We know this has a negative slope. So this is 1, 2. We're going down, so this is -2. But this is going to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to put +8. In other words, like, and just one more, like one thing that I really wanted to mention. If you go down 2, you can't start from here and work that way, left. Like you go down 2, you're here now, and then you count right, and that's 8. So the slope is going to be negative. We know it's going to be negative because the line goes down from left to right. So this is rise over run. We're going to put those numbers in, substitute those numbers in. The rise is -2, and the run is 8. So when you put this into the calculator, we could put -2 over 8. If you, oh boy, -2, let me try this again, alpha x, -2 over 8, right? If you press enter, it automatically reduces the fraction for you. So you could put down m equals -1 over 4. So what connection can you make between the slope and the steepness of the line? It's the same connection that was on the other page. And I put it there again, just in case you wanted to see it. The steeper the line is, the further it is away, the slope is away from 0. So you could see that the further away from 0 is the steeper line here. So this graph A is steeper than B. -7 over 4 is furthest away from 0. -1 over 4 is really close to 0. So that steepness is not, the decline is not as steep as the first graph. And we're going to move on. So easy right here. The steeper the line, the further away from 0. And I put it up there so you understand, okay, that's not that difficult. So the line with a slope of 6, which one is steeper? The slope of 6 is steeper. Which one is further away from 0? -5 or -2? -5 is steeper. But that would be a decline. but it's still steeper than -2. Line with a slope of 3 or line with a slope of 3, same steepness. All right, and which is steeper, a line with a slope of -8 or a line with a slope of 6? So the steeper line is -8. This is a decline. This one has an incline. But this decline is steeper than the incline of 6. It's further away from 0. Right? Mid-lesson assessment, what is the slope of the line passing through A and B, points A and B? So I'm going to put A and B down since we did not put it. This is point A and this is point B. So you take your ruler or whatever it is that you have and draw a line going down and then across, just like this. This has to be a triangle. So, and I just wanted to meet B there. That's good. This right here, we're going to put L and R up top. Hopefully we could get that done. And it should be very simple, L and R. And this goes down from left to right, so this is negative. So the slope is negative. It goes down. So that means this is gone and this is gone because those are positive slopes. You can't pick them. Right? So we're going to just go ahead and count here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to put -10 down. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's a positive 5. So the slope is, we're going to have rise over run. M equals -10 over 5, and that would divide into -2. So A is your answer. And doesn't it make sense? Look at the line. It's steep, right? It's pretty steep, the decline. -2 makes sense. Negative a half would definitely not be as steep. So that's it. Don't worry about the going further. We're going to turn the page. All right. So the slope formula that we are going to use is when you see 2 points on the line and all of a sudden they just give you the 2 points and they don't give you the graph itself. But this formula is the same as the rise over run formula. It's the same thing. Formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And you say the change in the y's over the change in the x's. It's the same as rise over run. So when you see on the left-hand side that there is a graph there, you know that if you make your triangle, this slope is a rise of 3 the rise is 3 and the run is 2. And this is a positive slope because L to R, this is a positive slope. It's going up from left to right. So the slope is 3 over 2. But now, if they didn't give you that coordinate, or if they didn't give you this graph, you would have to figure it out from the points and not from graphing. So what we do, and since this is the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, we are going to label the given points. So what we do is we look at this 2, and we say that's an x value. That's the first x I see, so I put x1. 3 is a y value. it's the first y I see, so I'm going to put y1. 4 is the second x value I see, so I put x2. And 6 is the second y I see, so I put y2. So we're going to put x1 is 2, y1 is 3, x2 is 4, and y2 is 6. So now we're ready to substitute it into the formula. So we're going to put m equals, we're going to put a line, put that line there, and we're going to put the minus signs in the middle already, right? So y2, 6 is y2, minus y1. We already have the minus sign, so we're just going to minus it. x2 is 4, minus x1 is 2. So the numerator on the top is 6 minus 3 is 3. You put it directly into the calculator, and then 4 minus 2 is 2. So the way to put that into the calculator, we're just going to put that in just to make sure that we understand how to do that. You go alpha x, you have a fraction just like this, 6 minus 3. You put it directly in, and 4 minus 2. And you press enter, it's 3 over 2. So it's the entire thing in. Don't do anything by hand. It's 3 over 2. Does it match the rise over run? Yes, it does. And it should, because it's the same thing. All right, so let's go find the slope using rise over run. So we're going to just go and connect these points using a triangle. Let me just go back up for a second and put L and R. This goes down from left to right. So what slope do you think it is? It is a negative slope. So right away, you know it's definitely going to be negative. We are going to count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's a negative 10. We're going to count to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's the same one that we had before. So the rise over run is m equals rise over run. M equals negative 10 over 5. M equals negative 2. So let's go down and find the slope with the formula. So we're just going to go ahead and put that formula down, but we have to have the coordinates first. So for A, it's negative 5. You see negative 5 going to the left and 4 up. Negative 5, comma 4. Then B is 0, 0 for the x, and negative 6 down. And those are the coordinates. If you're bad with coordinates, this is going to be a little rough, right? So we're going to label x1, y1, x2, y2. So we're going to put down here m equals y2, which is negative 6. We're going to put the line like that. We are going to put the minus sign in the middle of each, and now we're going to substitute the numbers in. y2 is negative 6. y1 is 4. x2 is 0. x1 is negative 5. Do yourself a favor. You see the double negative? What does that become? That becomes a positive. So I'm just going to go and put plus plus. You should know that right off the bat. The calculator will do it for you, but there's another subject that we're going to do, or another topic we're going to do in math, that when you see a double negative, just make it positive. All right, so we have negative 6 minus 4 as the numerator. So we have negative 6 minus 4. And then as the denominator, we have 0 plus 5. Look how easy that is. and we press enter. You get -2 as your slope. And does it match? Yes. And that is it. -2 slope makes sense. Line is pretty steep. And it's going down from left to right. So let's go ahead and connect. Let's go ahead and do the triangle there. Let me get this down like that. Okay. So this, I could tell right away, it's going down from left to right. So if it's going down from left to right, R over here, L over there, it is a negative slope. Negative slope, so 1, 2, that's -2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, +8. That was like the one that we had before. M equals -2 over 8. That is rise over run. And if you reduce it, it should reduce to -1 over 4. So that is -1 over 4. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to put down the coordinates for A and B, and we're going to see if it's the same. So -9 to the left and 9 up. -9, 9. -1 and 7. -1 and 7. We're going to label it x1, y1, x2, y2. Down further, we are going to substitute in, we're going to put that line down. It's a horrible line. So I'll do this. Equals. And then so we're going to put the minus signs in right away. And we're going to go y2 is 7 and y1 is 9. x2 is -1 and x2 minus x1 is -9. See the double negative, just go ahead and put that as a positive. So on the top, as the numerator is 7 minus 9, so we'll put that. And then on the bottom, the denominator is -1 plus 9. -1 plus 9. Let the calculator do the calculations for you. It is -1/4. And the slopes are the same. All right, now it says calculate the slope of the following lines. Remember, you have to label first x1, y1, x2, y2. Since the formula is right up there, I'm not going to rewrite it. But when you go and put that line in, just make sure the negatives are there. y2 minus y1 is 1 minus 1, and then 13x2 minus x1 is x2 is 13 minus 4. So we're going to put this as 1 minus 1, and then 13 minus 4. And we're going to press enter, and we're going to get a slope of 0. So what kind of line is this? That is a horizontal line. Slope of 0. All right, so here we go with this one, x1, y1, x2, y2. we set everything up. The formula is y2, which is -8, minus y1 is 2. x2 minus x1 is 2. And we're going to put that directly in the calculator. So, move this over. We're going to put alpha x, and we get -8 minus 2 over 3 minus 2. -10 is your answer. And that is it. What do you notice when you have 2 points with the same y coordinates? Same y coordinates? Well, that's a slope of 0. Slope equals 0. That's what you notice. All right, fast finisher. Here we're going to go x1, y1, x2, y2. This slope is m equals, and we're going to go and do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we're going to just simply put this there as the minus signs in the middle. And then 10 minus 3, y2 minus y1, and x2 minus x1. So we'll see what happens now. So we have 10 minus 3. And I think it's 4 minus 4 on the bottom. And we have divide by 0 error, and that is undefined. Remember, you cannot divide by 0. So important to put the negatives in first. And remember, it's y2, which is -7, minus y1, which is -5. Double negative, change it. -3, which is x2, minus x1 is double negative, change it. Grab your calculator and you clear out that divide by 0 error, clear out everything else, go to alpha x, and you get -7 plus 5. As the numerator and the denominator is -3 plus 2. And you get 2 as your answer. And that's it. What do you notice when 2 points have the same x coordinates? Well, the same x coordinates, that means the slope is undefined. Same x coordinates. Because you cannot divide by 0. The slope is undefined. All right, find the slope for each example below. We're going to do rise over run for all of these. So for 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to draw a line down like that and a line like that. So for this one, you know that it's definitely going to be a negative slope. So counting down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's -5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, that is +4. The slope is rise over run. And the slope is -5 over 4. For this one, we are going to make our triangle like that, a little bit neater. And we have L and R. This is going up from left to right, so this is a positive slope. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6, and then 1 up. So the rise over run, The rise is 1, the run is 6, the slope is 1 over 6. The line is a vertical line, so the slope is undefined. And you see, you can't really, if you do this, you really can't, it's going to be a divide by zero error. The x's are the same, so that's why every vertical line has an undefined slope. So just take a look at what this is right here. They give you points, but they do not give you any graph. So we'll kind of navigate our way and deviate to the slope formula, the other slope formula that we're using. It's the same thing. y2 minus y1 is the rise, and x2 minus x1 is the run. So I'm going to put this down, make the line, and make sure there's minus signs. You have negative 1, y2 minus y1 is negative 1. Minus, minus, can't put the plus signs. Negative 2, which is x2, minus x1, which is 4. So we're going to have alpha x. We're going to do negative 1 plus 1. And we're going to just make sure negative 2 minus 4. So on the bottom, and it is 0. Makes sense because the y values are the same. We're going to have x1, y1, x2, y2. Slope, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. M equals negative 6 minus 0. y2 minus y1, put the negative there, negative 7 minus a negative 7. Make them plus. So we're going to have put that on in our calculator. Negative 6 minus 0. And we're going to have negative 7 plus 7. And we're going to have a divide by zero error. So this is undefined. Alrighty, 2 more points right here. We're going to label it x1, y1, x2, y2. The slope formula is y2 minus y1. I'm not writing it down anymore. I'm putting the minus signs in. I have 8 minus a negative 3. y2 minus y1, make them plus. x2 minus x1 is 5 minus 5. And when you put this in, you're going to see that dreaded 8 plus 3, and then 5 minus 5. So you can see the bottom is going to be 0, and it's going to be a divide by zero error. So this is undefined as well. Okay, so this one's a little bit different. We have 1, 3, 5, and k. This is missing, and the slope is 2. So I put the slope in as 2. This is the formula. So what we're going to have here is just we're going to substitute in, and we're going to put the y2 in as k minus the y1, which is 3. The x2 is 5, and the x1 is 1. So just take a look at what we have here, and we could just look at like this whole thing. Like, how do we solve this? Well, the slope has to be 2, so you could probably solve it on your own, but like, you know, just seeing what it is. So the bottom right here, if you really write, the numerator is still k minus 3. And now the denominator is 4, because 5 minus 1 is 4. There's a couple different ways that you could do this. And just realize that it has to equal 2. So the top has to be 8. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So you could figure it out that way. Like, what number would k have to be for this to be 8? And that's pretty easy to figure out. Or you could go and do the little trick that I'm going to show you as far as a proportion goes. So if you do that proportion, if you make a 1 underneath the 2, it's a proportion. You could do that butterfly method, and the butterfly method kind of works out well because 2 times 4 right here is 8, and the 1 times k minus 3 is just k minus 3. So you could add 3 to both sides. And so you have, okay, k, when you solve for k equals 11. And it makes sense because if you put 11 in for k, that's 8 over 4. 8 over 4 is 2. So k equals 11. Right? We're going to go to the other one. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to put x1, y1, x2, y2. So we're going to put m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So the m is going to be there. We're going to put the minus signs. It's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Let's go down further and put m equals y2 is negative 7. Put the minus sign in the middle. K. 6 minus a negative 4. Put the plus signs. Just remember that m is negative, and you can put the negative 1 over 5, just like that. So notice that you could rewrite this. This is plus 4, right? You could rewrite this as negative 1 over 5 equals negative 7 minus k over 10. Then you could do the crisscross method, right? The butterfly method, whatever you want to call it. 10 times negative 1 is negative 10. 5 times negative 7 minus k is that. So negative 10 equals negative 35, because 5 times negative 7 is negative 35. 5 times negative k is negative 5k. Then you add 35 to both sides. It's a tough one. And you get this to cancel. This is 25 equals negative 5k. Divide by negative 5. K equals negative 5. And that makes sense because if you put k as negative 5 in, then you would get a slope of negative 1/5. All right, so here it is. Calculate the slope. This is the only, like, you could see a little bit of a difference here because now they have a table, and a table of values is horizontal. So what do? Well, you just label it. This is your first x, that's x1. This is your first y, that's y1. This is x2. This is y2. So then you have your slope formula. This is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we're going to just go ahead and put that in. Minus signs in. The y2 minus y1, be careful, 6 minus 8. And then x2 minus x1 is 4 minus 1. Bring your calculator up. 6 minus 8 over 4 minus 1. Let the calculator do it. It is negative 2/3. So the slope is negative 2/3. And that's it. How do you find the slope of a table? Label and use the slope formula. Okay, so how can you find the slope of using a table? Choose the coordinates in the table and label your coordinates. Substitute into the slope formula and solve. What do you notice about the pattern of the x values and y values? Well, the x values are going down. They're going up. They're increasing. You see how the x values are going from 1, 4, 7, 10. And then the y values are decreasing at the time where the x values are increasing. So think about the line is going like this. The x value is increasing and the y is decreasing. So the line's going down from left to right. It is always going to be a negative slope. Negative slope. So we're just going to try these with like learning what we've investigated above. We're just going to label and go ahead and figure out the slope of each. And we are going to put the equal sign here. This is 3/2, so this is the slope of that. And then that one is negative 2. So you can see that the x values are increasing and the y values are decreasing. Both of these are increasing, so that means it's a positive slope. And that is it. All right. So do these lines have a positive or a negative slope? We're just going to put positive slope. Both lines go up from left to right. So LR. And it goes up. Positive slopes. All right, we're going to find the slope. Both lines are traveling up from left to right. We know that they're both positive, so we're going to find the slope of each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to go 10, positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 10, and then this is 7 as well. So the slope of line A, we're going to call this A, and we're going to call this B. The slope of this line here, M equals 7/10. And then the slope of this line is 7/10 as well. What do you notice about their slopes? The slopes are equal. Okay, so what do you notice about their slopes? Their slopes are equal, definitely. And when two lines have the same slope, you could see that these lines are parallel. That's what happens when there are parallel lines. Any lines that are parallel have the same slope. It's the same rise and it's the same run. So, you know, if they give you a line of 3, the slope of 3, and another line with a slope of 3, that means both of those lines are parallel. Parallel, same slope. And that's it. And in the last slide, find the slope of the line passing through these points right here. And we are going to put x1, y1, x2, y2. Remember, always write the formula down and always be as careful as possible with the minus signs and the negatives and stuff like that. So you don't make a mistake that you could have avoided. So there it is. And then we're going to put down M equals. We're going to put the line down. And remember, put the minus signs in. Make sure you put that minus sign in. So the y2 is -8. If I can get this computer to -8. And then y1 is 2. The x2 is -1. And the x1 is 3. Don't do anything by hand, right? Make sure -8 minus 2 goes into the calculator. -1 minus 3. That's 5/2. 5/2 is 2.5. If they have 2.5, then that's what you circle. They can't have 5/2 and 2.5 at the same time. So just circle the one that you think it is. 5/2 is your answer. And that is the end of the lesson. Remember what I said before. The slope formula is rise over run when you have a graph. That's what you use. When you don't have a graph and they give you 2 points, 2 coordinates, that's when you label x1, y1, x2, y2, and you use y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and that is it. All right. Remember, also one last thing, the slope of a line that is going up from left to right is a positive slope, and a line that goes down from left to right is a negative slope. All right. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.